So hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My voice is a bit off because I got the flu and hopefully it's not COVID. So let's get to it. The tutorial was on the search bar and people were mentioning they were having this hard time to process the item that was clicked from the user. So someone asked me to if I can make a tutorial on it, and I said okay, why not? So here we are now. Let's get into it. So I have that same tutorial project, and I just made a new branch. Getting right into it, I'm just trying to polish the hierarchy of the application because we didn't have a good hierarchy back then. So now that we'll be having navigation and extra screen, we need to have a good hierarchy. So in my app folder, I'm creating a new folder which will contain the navigation. It will contain all the navigators from the screen. So right now we'll be only having a one navigator, which will be our stack navigator. So we created a navigator folder, and in our component folder we created a home screen, and we'll just take the code from the app.js that we previously had and move it to the home screen and keep the app.js clean so it can point straight to navigator instead of a whole screen. So now I'll move the search drop down from our components to the shared folder because it's not really a screen, it's just a shared file which can be used in multiple places in your application. So mind that to keep that kind of things in one place. So heading back to our index.js, we'll be creating our routes and navigator. You can see me struggling creating an import to basic React because I don't know, I just get super bumpy sometimes. So then I moved ahead, imported our stack navigator. You need to have a couple of libraries installed, so I can mention a list of it, or you can just get it from the package of JSON. So we have our stack navigator, and we got a reference to it saying within variable stack, and now we are creating our navigator. Simple navigator, it just contains a stack navigator which contains a couple of screens. And now you will see me making a deadly mistake of using the function brackets for some reason, exporting my component. I don't know why I did that, but I did it twice, and it took me a long run after it was not executed. So now we need to go back to our app.js and point to our navigator. So we'll just return our navigator from it, and we just need to have something in our detail screen so the code does not block. Now we are making an import from detail screen to our home screen, and I was just checking through what was the code in the search drop down, and I was stunned that I already have an on-press event returning to the home screen. So why you are having problems? Then I realized after a couple of seconds that on-press is executing on the click of hold drop down instead of each item. So we just need to move the touchable from our whole component to the specific item, but we'll do it later now because I just quickly had this urge to go back into my navigators and things and fix the code a bit. So here we are back. I just changed the navigation to navigator for some reason, and going back into my index, I pointed to a navigation container which will return that substack. So I made a navigation container, and in the navigation folder I created an abstract and copied the code from the index to the abstract and exported it with those brackets again. Going back, I'm just gonna do a cleanup. It's good now, and I just had a lot of debugging because of those function brackets, and then later I realized okay, I just went in and removed them from both navigators, and I think now we are good and running. So application is running, we have a stack on top. So I just removed a bit of margin from the top because now we don't need to handle the iPhone margins. And in our search bar drop down on press event, which was previously there, I made a navigation from home screen to detail screen. Now we need to trigger the event on press of each item instead of the whole drop down. So I move the touchable from top of the search bar drop down to the to each item. So each item can trigger its own on press. It will call the parent's on press event and pass the item which was clicked to the parent item. So wherever it is used, you click on the item, whatever the data source is, and it will return to the main parent with this item that was clicked. So in the parent function, we'll receive that item and whatever we want to do about it. Some of you wanted to do the things there or show the item there on the home screen, so you can do it here. And those who wanted to move to the next screen, you can pass it to the navigation params and you can consume it in the detail screen. So now that I'm doing that, we have the, I just have to quickly see on which item I can retrieve the props. So it is in the props rotor param and I have received it, and I can show that item and in the other screen I can do any whatever I want or just display it. I'm gonna display it. So you can see apple was clicked, apple is saved. Just to make it a bit more visible, I'm just gonna put it in the middle of screen. Obviously you can do whatever you want. I'm not good with the random designs, so here you go. So that's all guys. You can configure it any way you want. I hope you got the basic idea. If you have any other questions, you can reach me out on my socials or just comment down below. So till next time, goodbye. And do remember to subscribe or stuff. I don't care, but if you have any other suggestions, do let me know.